went back to being a coward again. Custard the Dragon felt comfortable and cozy. His breath wasn't fiery, just flickery and rosy. He lay his head down on his iron dragon toes, dreaming dragon dreams in a happy dragon doze. Belinda sang as she went about her housework. Blink, the mouse, was busy with her mousework. Ink, the kitten, was laundering her fur and teaching the little dog Mustard to purr. Belinda's song as she wiped her dishes bright was all about Sir Gargoyle, the wicked, wicked knight. His castle's on a mountain above the Edelweiss. Its gates are solid iron, its walls are solid ice, and underneath the castle is the dismalest of caves where he keeps the captive maidens he has carried off as slaves. Ink, Blink, and Mustard, they join their voices three.
We're not cowardly like Custard, we're courageous as can be.
So hush you, Belinda, hush you, don't you fret you.
We promise that Sir Gargoyle will never get you.
Then, just as Ink was complimenting Blink, said a voice. Belinda dropped her dishes to the floor, for there was Gargoyle coming through the door. You could tell that he was wicked, for he reeked of ogre. He was like an ogre, only twice as ogre. He was twice as big as a big gorilla and covered with armor like an armadillo. Armor in the front of him, armor in the back, and every bit of it thunderstorm black. Blink got goose flesh, and Ink was terror-laden, and Mustard yelped that whooped, he was not a maiden. Blink fled downstairs. Ink fled up and underneath the sofa with them. Sir Gargoyle pounced with panther speed and carried off Belinda on his snorting steed. He plied his spurs with a cruel heel. He was hungry for his favorite meal of screws and nails and rattlesnake tongues and crocodile tails. Custard was roused from his quiet dreams by the pitiful sound of Belinda's scream. To horse! He cried. Break bread to horse! We must organize a rescue force! Said Mustard.
I'd show that wicked knight, but I've got a toothache. I couldn't fight.
Oh, said Ink.
I can hardly stir myself, so I'm afraid I'm coming down with
Oh, said Blink.
If only I were feeling brisker, but I am weakened by any growing whiskers.
Alas, said Custard. Alas, poor Belinda. He sighed a sigh, and his sigh was a cinder. For 3 brave bodyguards are powerless as she, and no one to rescue her but chicken-hearted me. Well, said Custard, at least I'm in the mood to be the toughest chicken that ever was chewed. As he thought about Belinda and Sir Gargoyle, everything inside him began to boil. He sizzled and he simmered and he bubbled and he hissed, then he whooped like a rocket through the evening mist. With headlight eyes and spikes of bristle, he pierced the air like a locomotive whistle. He swooped from the sky as grim as fate and knocked on Gargoyle. Fearsome gate. Sir Gargoyle rose at Custard's hail. He chewed a screw and swallowed a nail. He called.
You can hammer all night and day, but you might as well take yourself away. My gates are iron, my walls are right, and I've woven a spell around them thrice.
If by chance you should get it,
I'll lay you over from tail to chin.
He thought to frighten the dragon to death. Oh, but Custard blew with a blowtorch breath. He was like a small volcano with a whooping cough, and like molten lava, the gate flowed off. He blew another breath, and those icy walls, they came a splashing down in waterfalls. Sir Gargoyle in tinfoil, and that was the end of Gargoyle. Down Custard rushed like a tidal wave, down, 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 to the dismal cave where Belinda lay in chains, a slave. Chains too strong to chop or hack, but he sawed him through with his spiky back. Belinda was too weak to speak her thanks, but she managed to pat his scaly flank. Now Custard was a flyer of great renown. He was able to fly while sitting down. So home he soared with wings of black, and Belinda a-sitting in his lap. Ink, Blink, and Mustard, oh, they were in a happy tizzy. They danced around Belinda until they made her dizzy. Oh. Then they looked at Custard and they gave a shout.
Oh, there's a rabbit in the kitchen that he won't get out. He's eating all the carrots. He's starting on the peas.
Would you just in time to eject it, please?
Custard said, "You know my habit. You know I've always been afraid of rabbits. If this fierce fellow won't depart in peace, eject him yourself or call the police."
Oh,
Jeered Ink, Blink, and Mustard.
what a cowardly, cowardly.
Cowardly Custard!
Yeah, said Custard, and I'll add to that craven a pole to rude and brazen. I've learned what a nuisance bravery can be, so a coward's life is the life for me. Belinda kissed him and said, "Don't fret. A cowardly dragon makes the nicest pet."